every walk of life, every creed and color. We should reunite in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person you say, namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love between you.
Now this is coming on.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We've come together.
We come together.
We've come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together
in the name of love. We've come together.
Come together.
We've come together.
Come together.
We come together.
We come together
in the name of love. We've come together.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together
in the name of love.
Awesome. Thank you, Gwen and Charles. It's perfect. We come together in the name of love. And we're so glad to have each and every one of you with us here today. Like I said, whether you're here in the sanctuary or online joining us, we want you to know unity is a positive, practical approach for spiritual living based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. We believe there is beauty and truth in all spiritual traditions, and so we honor the many paths to God. Wherever you are on your journey of faith, please know that you are always welcome here. If you're new to Unity on the North Shore, we want you to know that our purpose here is to create a safe space where people are empowered to take risks and live out their deepest truths. We do this by acting on principles of inclusivity, encouraging creative spiritual exploration, embracing innovative possibilities, collaborating to create community and personal growth, and living truth principles as we understand them. If this is your first Sunday with us, we want to extend a special welcome to you. For many of us here, finding unity felt like coming home. We were delighted and surprised to find that there was actually a faith community that thought and believed the same things we did. We hope that you will feel that same sort of connection this morning and that you'll want to return to join us again and again. If you're here in the sanctuary, we invite you to complete a guest card back at our Welcome Center at the end of the service so that we can get to know you a little better. And next up, back to Gwen and Charles.
I think this is something we all know. If you don't, it'd be easy just to join along with us. So we want you to join us wherever you are.
Changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. Repeat. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light, I am more than meets the eye, I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy, I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
Thank you, Gwen and Charles. My name is Kent Stanton, and I'm blessed to be your prayer chaplain serving here today. At the podium and after service, Diane Testa will be available for one-on-one prayer with you at the prayer candle back in the sanctuary. We know that prayer works, and it's our pleasure to pray with you. One of Unity's 12 powers is wisdom. Affirmation: I am guided by divine wisdom in every thought, word, and action. Join me now as I read the daily word, which is inspiration. The affirmation is, I am grateful to those who inspire me. I admire and respect the sacred calling and work of innovative and groundbreaking thinkers and leaders. The work they have done to forge new paths and lead humanity in new directions inspires me. I've heard inspiration described as the breath of God, an inner quickening. This quickening is mine as I forge new paths and boldly journey forward, creating my life anew. To keep divine inspiration flowing, I make time to rest in contemplative stillness. I begin each day with prayer for a receptive mind and heart. I pray for the courage and clarity to release my rigid expectations. I live in a state of gratitude for the inspiration that flows from God and the opportunity to share it. And the Bible verses from Genesis 2:7. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Now let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and slowly let it out. Breathe in again and slowly let it out. Now, as we rest in the silence, holding in prayer yourself and your loved ones, now in the silence. Also, let us hold in prayer all those who are suffering and affirm the presence of God's love, grace, and guidance in every person and in every human condition, and so we let it be. Amen. If you are attending online, you may request a prayer using the chat box or the link provided. If you are attending in person, use the prayer request forms in the sanctuary and deposit them in the prayer box. Prayer chaplain will be available at the bank of the sanctuary after the service. And now, back to Charles and Gwen.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of God's creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do, wanna change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to. Simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. If you want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life that I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. There is no life I know to compare. Look around you and see. Wanna change the world, there's nothing to it. Nothing can compare, nothing can compare with your imagination. You'll be free living there if you truly wish to be. I said if you truly wish to be.
Thanks, Gwen. Oh my gosh, sanctuary filled up while my back was turned. It's lovely to see you all here this morning. Yay. And Charles, Charles and I spoke earlier, we were talking about the theme for this morning, and it was his idea, this song, Imagination. Many of you may recognize that. Do you know what movie it's from? Willy Wonka, yeah. And so I watched Willy Wonka. It'd been a lot of years since I'd seen that film again, but since I knew that was going to be a piece of what we're looking for. And what I noticed about, Willy has an edge. We all know that, right? Willy has he's this beautiful, he draws this beautiful picture about this world of imagination. And then at the same time, there's like this little caveat, if you truly want to be free. And what I noticed is he was singing this song. If you remember the scene, there's like these children that won the golden tickets, and they're going to have a lifetime supply of chocolate, and they're there with their what do you call it? Not the adults, their consorts, I can't think of the word, custodians, whatever it is, the adults. And so he's introducing them, he's singing the song, and they're walking down into this world that has been built from Willy Wonka's imagination. And he'll be singing about this world and then reach out and he'll stop them from going down and entering it. And what I'm sort of realizing is that these kids and their adults, they all have their own sort of egoic desires and agendas. And as the movie goes on, what we kind of notice is that those behaviors actually get in the way of their being able to fully experience this world of imagination that Wonka has created for them. And so what it reminds me of is that as we begin to sort of live into these deeper possibilities, we begin to imagine for ourselves what our future holds. And I'm talking about our future sort of in community at Unity on the North Shore. Many of you know that we're in the midst of a lot of change and are looking at a year coming up that's going to have lots of opportunity to imagine new beginnings and new ways of being together. But I know that's also true for each and every one of us in our own lives, as we move out of this time when we've been sequestering and we're still wearing masks. There are changes that we're going to experience in our relationships and what we believe about being together and how we celebrate together. All of those changes are really going to be informed by the intentions we hold, by what we can imagine about what it looks like. And if we're willing, if we sort of pay attention to that caveat, it's if we truly want to be free of the limitations and the restrictions and the weird patterns that we might be holding in mind, if we really want to be free of those, we have to be conscious of the places where our own egoic sort of desires, where our own selfishness, where our own less than divine qualities might be trying to leap ahead and sort of grab it at the beauty that lies ahead of us, right? So I want to put that in the context of our purpose statement. We've been talking all this month about Unity on the North Shore's purpose, which the board had sort of identified through a process of telling stories and remembering stories about those who have been part of the ministry and our history, the stories out of our history. So we sort of pulled and teased out of that our why, like why Unity on the North Shore exists. And Kathy just spoke it. We exist, Unity on the North Shore exists to create a safe space where we are empowered and equipped to take risks and live our deepest truth. And throughout this month, what we've been sort of experiencing and playing with is how our core values that we've identified also support us in being able to live into that. So the value that we're looking at today is embracing innovative possibilities. And I'm just curious, and your answer could really affect where this talk goes. So I want you to be really honest and clear, right? I'm curious, how many of you really feel that in your hearts? Like you identify as, yes, I'm an innovator. I embrace innovation and live into possibility. How many of you feel like that's really how you show up and who you are? Yeah, good. And how many of you are like, yeah, I sort of see the advantage of that, but I really like stability, I like certainty, and I like to sort of be grounded in what's concrete and what I can see and touch. How many are living there? So by the end of this talk, what I'm hoping is that we'll all sort of recognize that it's a both and. That all of us have aspects of that aspirational, innovation, possibility and imagining, and also all of us also have a space within our hearts where we just want to be grounded and safe and secure. It's kind of a part of our human experience. So what I'm hoping is by the end of it, you can identify places and ways in which you are both in this experience of being together in a spiritual journey, in a spiritual kind of evolution. So one of the ways that I begin to kind of explore that or embrace particularly the innovator type is to really look at what innovator means, what innovation means. And I found a wonderful, and she comes totally out of like the world of business, but her name is Tamara Kleinberg. And she has a different perspective of innovation than I had heard before, and one that I think opens up the possibilities in our own thinking to recognize how we too can be innovators, how we show up as innovation in our own lives. Because my perception of innovator was like, the guys who are out there creating stuff that's never been created before, the guys that are way beyond sort of current reality. Innovators are those like cutting edge, leading edge folks. Kleinberg's assessment of innovation is not that at all. In fact, she would call that more revolution than innovation, right? It's sort of throwing out what is and leaping out beyond the bounds of what is. And her sense is that, and what she teaches in her work and her businesses and has written about in her books, is that innovation is more evolutionary than that. It's more gradual than that. It's being present to what is. She even goes so far as to say, when we think of innovation, it's like thinking outside the box. And her context is, no, it's really being in the box of what's here, of what we have to work with, of how we're showing up now, and rearranging things in different patterns in different ways that create different outcomes and results. So innovation doesn't have to be this thing that is so far out of the realm of where we currently are. Innovation is actually an evolution of moving forward. So when you think about it that way, does it become a whole lot more accessible? When you think about it that way, can you, as you look back through your own sort of spiritual context, can you see ways in which you have definitely been an innovator in your own life experience? I would say if you're sitting here in a Unity church, that's probably very true. Because by our very nature, Unity sort of steps outside the bounds of certainly what mainstream religions would teach and believe. And our whole focus is about really being very cognizant of the kinds of and the quality of the thoughts that we're holding, so that we can move into a different space, a different creation, a different way of manifesting experiencing and sort of beholding our own life experiences, right? What we think, we believe, what we think, how we feel about it, actually has the capacity to shape our experience of it. And so in Unity, we've been innovating since the very beginning. We've been innovating. Think about maybe there's some prosperity affirmation that you held. There's a point in your life when you're wanting to see some kind of demonstration of abundance. So you held in mind what you wanted to experience. You held in mind that you were open to new channels. That's innovation. That's taking the circumstance that you were in, the bank account balance that you were in, the old car that you were driving, the job that you had, and imagining a different possibility. And in the imagining, in the allowing, we begin to create a new expression of it. We do it with our healing affirmations. We do it with what we hold for the world and the planet, moving toward a greater degree of autonomy or of peace and accord and harmony. We hold that in mind, and it's actually innovating, moving us forward in a way that allows us to imagine those greater possibilities. Yeah? So has everybody got sort of one of those examples that you can point to in your own life experience? So can you say with confidence, I embrace innovation? Say it out loud right now. I want to hear it enthusiastically. I embrace innovation. That was kind of lackluster. Try to live a little bit more with a little more energy. I embrace innovation. I am a possibility thinker. You know how I know this? Not because of all the stuff I've already said. You know how I know this? Because you are created in the image and likeness of God. You are created with that Christ presence within you. And Christ is perhaps the greatest innovator we have ever seen on the planet. Nobody's like looking up, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Prove it to me. But I'm going to anyway. So, think back to the time of Christ and of Jesus walking the planet and Christ. And what we'll recognize is that the Pharisees and Sadducees of the time, right, the Jewish folks, as their concept, their belief, their expectation about what a Messiah would bring when the Messiah came to the planet was to usher in this new messianic age. It was going to be a ruler who would change all of the systems and structures, and it would be a time of peace. It was going to be pretty much a complete replacement of the structures that were in place at the time. So when Jesus shows up, they couldn't see that Jesus was here as the Messiah because he didn't fit their conception of what the Messiah was going to look like and be like and show up like. He rode around on donkeys. Jesus came and as we look at the miracles and the stories of his life and the ways in which he shows up, he came and encountered things exactly as they were, but was an innovator in that he could see beyond to a different possibility. And rather than sort of cast it all out and start over, he worked with the energies that he had to see beyond them and bring forth healing and demonstrations, right? Tons of examples. He's giving a speech at Sermon on the Mount with 5,000 hungry people, right? He sees beyond the hungry people, that there's a possibility for all to be fed, and innovates sort of a way in which that happens, right? Rather than sort of send them all home, as the disciples had said, just cast it out, they'll all go feed themselves. He saw a different possibility and was able to sort of innovate this new way of showing up. He did it with, what else? He did it with healing, paralytic, with lepers. He saw beyond the wounds and the healing, and was able to be exactly present with what was and evolve that situation, that condition, into a completely different experience and outcome. We are created in that image. We have that Christ-like ability to see beyond to new possibilities and to innovate, to be with what is and evolve it to the next iteration, evolve it toward that which we see and believe. Yeah? I'm trying to think of other examples that I've had that experience this. So this is kind of a weird one, but what I want you to understand is that it happens within the context of our own worldly experience, right? This ability to see beyond, this ability to move our lives forward in a way that's evolutionary, that doesn't require the sort of casting everything out that was before and eliminating that and abolishing it. That was one of the things Jesus said, right? He was not here to abolish the truth, but he was here to bring it into fulfillment. We are not here to abolish what we know to be true, the very divine nature that we are. We don't abolish the limitations that we experience. We work within those to sort of continue to grow our spiritual consciousness, our ability, so that we can be even more effective at creating those kind of possibility outcomes. Yeah. So anyway, one more example I'll share with you. This is how many, David Letterman, he's got a new show on Netflix. Can't remember the name of it now, but it's been interesting to watch him. He has this Santa Claus, very raggy beard these days, and he really, I don't know if it's just the persona for the show, but he's kind of taken on a grumpy old man attitude. And so he brings in various celebrities and has these really wonderful conversations with them about their lives, their experience, what's going. Well, one that I was watching that I love it because that grumpy old man kind of got challenged to innovate, to evolve beyond, to see a different possibility for himself. How many know the rap artist Lizzo? Amazing artist. She is a concert flautist, a classical flautist, and she brings all of those beautiful talents into, and I need to sort of probably, if you haven't heard Lizzo, there's a sort of parental advisory. Her lyrics can be quite explicit. But beyond that, there is this incredible positivity about it. Lizzo knows who she is, and she sees the greatness of that and the purpose of that and the way to being an expression for love so completely that, it just has attracted thousands to her. There's a clip in the little video with Letterman that has her in front of a crowd. This is way before COVID, just doing this amazing resonance and energy that she creates out of this positivity that she has. And so she brings that to David Letterman, and she wants him to rap. This old white guy, she wants him to rap. And so she does her little background, whatever it is, with music, and sort of gets her rhythm going behind it, and he just can't get there. His raps are all about how unworthy and what a loser he is and how he can't write stuff, right? And Lizzo, she like won't have it. So she tries to turn him around. He can't quite, in his own thinking, he can't quite do it. But what she encourages him to do, and what he does finally do, she encourages that, well, if he's going to claim that about himself, well, then claim it in a way that takes the power back. And I wish I had the clip. I don't have it because I can't remember the exact lyric it was. But what it speaks to is this notion that as we move into this energy of innovation, as we move into the space of really embracing evolutionary change, evolutionary building of our own consciousness, that we can live into those greater possibilities that are expressed by folks who really are grounded in that kind of love, that are expressed by the Christ nature that's in each and every one of us. That's ours to claim, all right? So I think what I would like to do now is prepare for a time of meditation, but moving into it, I want to move back to those affirmations. So dig into your awareness of the places where you have already sort of proven your expertise and your proficiency with innovating in your own life. You got that example? And just really claim that as I am an innovator together. I am an innovator. 3 times. You're all closing your eyes. Like, what's up with that? We aren't meditating yet. This is the place where I want you to really claim it. I want you to bring energy to that desire, because here's the truth, right? In the energy you bring to it, that in itself is innovative, right? That in itself is sort of casting off the parts of it that are not evolutionary, just by the confidence that you bring to the statements, the self-talk that you have in your own experience. So we'll do the line that we use that's our core value. I embrace innovative possibilities. So that'll be our affirmation. I want to do it 3 times, and I want you to feel it. I want you to be thinking of the place where you have evidence in your own life experience of having created that for yourself, and bring it forth with confidence, because it's that same confidence that carries us into the changes that lie ahead for us, right? So I embrace innovative possibility. Together. I embrace innovative possibility. Second time, a little louder. I embrace innovative possibility. And once again, I embrace innovative possibilities. All right. So Charles, if you'd sort of set the mood for us as we prepare to move into a time of meditation, be great.
Kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
So as we move now into a time of really experiencing that power and glory that we know extends from now into forever, I invite you to just relax. Take a couple of deep breaths. And I'd invite you to first place your right hand on your belly, if that's comfortable. Right? It's where we can feel most grounded. It's where we can feel that sense of solidarity and safety. Just feel yourself grounded with your right hand on your belly. And if it's comfortable, I'd place your left hand on your heart. And just notice just the physical sensations of that. Notice if there's any kind of energetic quality or if it's just a kind of comforting, but just be with it. Grounded and solid with your hand on your belly. Safe and connected with your hand on your heart. And next, I would invite you to just move the hand from your belly to the top of your head, or maybe over the third eye, whatever is comfortable. Just be present to the differences of the physical sensations. At the top of the head is where we can maybe be a little more in touch with the possibility thinking within us, the imagining. The spaces where we can see beyond current experience and be present to what might yet come to be. And then move your right hand down, have it join your left hand on your heart. I'd now like you to imagine that those two qualities, that quality to be grounded and safe, that I was asking you to focus on at the belly, and the quality of seeing beyond, of imagination, of evolution, that happened when we were focused on the head, top of the head, come together in the heart. See if you aren't able to cultivate a sense of unity, of wholeness, of knowing that truly we are both and. We are safe. We are grounded in what is. And there's a dimension of our being that finds excitement in the possibilities of what is yet to come. It can be inspired and motivated by the images that we hold for what can be. And it's in this place of balance where our power to create becomes most effective. So once more, breathe into the heart space, feeling a sense of balance between solidity and groundedness, and possibility and imagination. We make space for it all, so that as we move out into our lives and into our daily experience, we're open and receptive and can create from a safe space the kind of beauty and harmony and peace that we know the Christ presence within us was born to fully express. So once more, breathe in, release whatever you might have been doing with your hands. Just rest comfortably in your seat. And once again, let's close this meditation by affirming together, I embrace innovative possibility. Together, I embrace innovative possibility. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Gwen, thanks, Charles. Absolutely true. You are light. We are light. So now, speaking of grounded innovators, last week was our annual meeting, and we elected 2 new board members, and we re-elected another board member. I would ask our board to come forward now so that we can dedicate them for the year of service that lies ahead. And I think, let's see, Suzanne is online, right? So at some point I'd like to spotlight Suzanne. And if you wouldn't mind, just head up the platform, Kathy, since you're first up. Just head up and maybe stand behind the candles. And then we have a little dedication, we have a powerful dedication ceremony. Just so that we can bless you and appreciate you and really acknowledge the incredible power and contributions that you bring. Yeah, maybe make a little half moon circle around, if you would. Yeah, am I out of the, do we have a nice good camera shot that looks right? Okay. So, first I'll introduce the new board that we've just elected. Jasmine Sasek is our president. You want to raise your hand? Vice president is TBD. We're determining that. We're experimenting with that a little bit. John Lidner will continue as secretary. Kathy Mathis has stepped in as treasurer. Jan Bellotti is a vice presidential consideration and trustee. And Suzanne Lamb, who I believe is online. If we could get Suzanne spotlighted, that would be great. And then what I'm going to ask is that, Kathy, if you would light the Christ candle. Oh, Denise Giambavo, of course, trustee, is continuing on. And we'll get to Evan in a minute. He's is an extraordinary case, and I want to make sure that we acknowledge the energy that he's bringing separately. But what I'd like for each of you to do is step forward and light the Christ candle, one of these Christ candles on the table. And Kathy, if you would go ahead and light one to acknowledge you and your heart, and then one for Suzanne, and hopefully Suzanne is on screen and can do that. She has a candle too? Yes. Suzanne, and then just go ahead and pass the torch around. So Jan Bellotti. Jasmine Sasek. John Lindner. And Denise Giambavo. And then just, go ahead and have Evan hold that for now. And Yeah, I'm going to ask him to make a little different commitment, so he'll light his candle in just a minute. So if you want to go ahead and step back for a second, Evan. And then this is addressed to the trustees. The Board of Trustees is a dynamic group of folks who have agreed to represent the congregation, to manage the finances of this church, and to hold the high watch. To be a board member means being committed, dedicated, and filled with generosity of giving oneself and one's resources to build this spiritual community. They have selflessly answered the call of Spirit. So now I ask each of you, are you prepared to discharge the duties and responsibilities of a trustee of Unity on the North Shore? And are you willing to follow the principles as set forth by the Unity movement, listening to members' ideas and bringing those ideas forth for consideration? Do you consecrate yourselves to promoting the welfare and growth of our church and of the entire Unity movement, to following Unity principles, and to looking to the Christ within for wisdom, guidance, and inspiration? Okay, now is the point where we'll be adding Evan's light to this beautiful circle of light. Evan is joining as our youth representative to the Board of Trustees. And so, Evan, I ask you as youth representative, will you share your passion and bring the perspective of our youth to your Board of Trustees discussions and deliberations?
I will.
Your support of the ministry as our youth representative will continue to honor your own spiritual growth, but will also advance our interests and help to make sure that we are creating an environment that truly is safe and allows others to express themselves fully. So, congregation, I now address this to you and to those of you home online. Would love it if you could turn your cameras on. I'm pretending you guys can see this, but it's a bunch of screens of people loving you. So, congregation, you see before you these bright lights whose wisdom and love will guide us, and you have heard the commitments made by these new trustees and our youth representative. I invite you to please stand as you are able. And as a member of or a person who turns to Unity on the North Shore for spiritual inspiration and support, you play an enormous role in the success of our ministry and in the success of our trustees. I ask you now, do you commit to support and to nurture them so that their experience as a part of your leadership team will be empowering and joyful for them and of the highest value to this ministry? If so, please state, I do. Let us pray. Recognizing that we are here by divine appointment, we commend ourselves as minister and trustees and congregants of this spiritual work to infinite wisdom and inspiration. We are open and receptive to the fulfillment of the divine plan in us and through us, and for the work of Unity as a whole, both here in the North Shore and throughout the world. Amen. You may be seated. Thank you. Bless you. Oh, maybe one more round of applause for the commitments that our members have made. Thank you all. And now that Kathy has been formally installed as the treasurer, she will go ahead and lead our offertory prayer. And we're starting a new practice. Once a month, we want to share just sort of a brief snapshot of our financials. So our brand new treasurer, Kathy, is here to do just that.
Okay, so I guess I am the designated money maven for this year, and I want to share our money moment with you for this month. As Reverend Kurt mentioned, we are going to be going through a lot of things, a lot of changes this year as a community, and so we want to make sure that we share with the community everything that is going on to the extent we can and make sure everyone is engaged as we move forward. So as part of that, as we said, we're going to have a little money moment. Once a month, we'll give just a little snapshot of where we are. Also, we have a new bulletin board out in the atrium there that has a more detailed P&L for the month, profit and loss statement for the month, and also some other information about board minutes and that sort of thing. So as we start this time, we're looking at January. and you can see there that we did have a deficit of $3,300 in January. The good news is that that is a little more favorable than we had planned. But here's the other part of that. As Kurt just talked about, we embrace innovative possibilities. We do not have to work on a deficit. We've made a plan based on where we have been, but as we move forward, there is plenty of opportunity as each of us engages and gives of ourselves, time, treasure, and talent, as we learned in 4 T's. There's opportunity to make this a positive number versus a deficit. But here's where we are right now, is with a deficit as we move in. And so we invite you to engage and look at innovative possibilities for your own engagement and your own giving as you consider your donations today. And so giving is safe and simple. If you're online, links and instructions are being entered in the chat stream now. We have 3 simple ways to give. You can first text the word give to 815-827-0652. You can give online at our website, unityns.org. You can also snail mail us a check at 3434 Central Street, Evanston, Illinois, 60201. And if you're here in the sanctuary, we invite you to place your gifts in the giving bowl at the back of the sanctuary as you leave the service today. Your generosity empowers this community to grow and to do our work as we're moving forward. And so we invite you to give generously and abundantly, of course. And now let's bless our gifts as we always do. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So it is. Amen. And now let's embrace our prosperity as we listen to Gwen and Charles.
Now offer gifts and tithes with thanks from deep inside, knowing that your love divine, our good is multiplied. We gratefully accept our blessings, then in turn we share and praise the God within us with the joy beyond compare.
Okay, thank you, Gwen and Charles. Just a few announcements as we start to wind down. First of all, you can join Sharon Myers this evening for Garden Chat Online. She hosts that every Sunday at 5 o'clock via Zoom. She shares a recipe and leads a conversation about today's message. And you can find the link in our email announcements that you may have received over the week, or you can register to receive it by clicking the link that is appearing in the Zoom chat right now. Also, as we announced in service and in the annual meeting last week, Kate Jordan is wrapping up her 20-year ministry career, and she's spent the last 10 here with us. And so we hope that you will join us in person or via Zoom next Sunday during service to help us celebrate her time here at UNS and to wish her a fond farewell as she begins her new journeys. And then also, as we heard... Sure.
So one other thing, as Kate's preparing to leave, oh my gosh, she has just blessed us with heart and soul for her 10 years with us, and she really has been a key figure in making things work. We will not be replacing the role that she held. Instead, we're going to be creating 2 part-time roles. Those job descriptions are out on the bulletin board if you'd like to have a look at them. One of them is office administration. That's going to be a lot of the technical stuff. The other one we're calling a community life coordinator, and that's really about building relationships and helping people, really helping connect us in ways that will serve the ministry and serve us on our individual growth. In the meantime, like I say, those postings are out. In the meantime, we're asking for volunteers, excuse me, that can help to cover some aspects of the work that Kate has been doing. Many of you probably received an invitation yesterday asking, it's Sign Up Genius, I think is who it comes from. But asking for help in a couple of areas. We're looking for someone that is really comfortable with email, so you would just be responding to emails. We would forward you the ones that she's been getting. We're looking for someone that can help with e-blasts. If you know MailChimp, that would be a great one. We're looking for someone just to be available to open and close the building as vendors or other needs come up that we need to allow people in. So if you live close by, that would be a really easy one. Someone to handle mail, that's twice a week. You just check the mailbox and bring it in and open it. Someone who's comfortable with Zoom that could set up scheduling the Zoom meetings, that would be a great help. And then on Sunday mornings, if you plan to be here most Sundays, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens in terms of getting materials in place for the live stream team. Really just involves copying and putting stuff out in the proper places. And then if you love Zoom and are really competent with that, Kate has been sort of a moderator on the Zoom screen. She's here now and has been most Sundays, but she's in the office sort of helping facilitate anything that the Zoom audience might be experiencing that would be helpful for the live stream team to know, and keeping the chat going, that kind of thing. So if you're a Zoom, you don't even have to be an expert, but if you're a Zoom, what would I call it? If you're proficient with Zoom and really kind of enjoy that online experience, that'd be great. We've already had a couple folks sign up for 2 things, and then the last one would be if you are here on Sundays and wouldn't mind hanging out until toward the end of the service or after people have left, just closing up the building, make sure lights and heat are off and everything gets locked up. So that's just a really brief scenario. Those postings are also listed out on the bulletin board, and those of you who are members and non-voting members and have been here a while probably have gotten an email that just allows you to click and sign up, and we will get you all of the instruction you would need. We tried to break that down into really manageable pieces that wouldn't be too demanding and that would allow us to really continue to function during this job search period pretty smoothly and seamlessly. So help us innovate as we move forward with how we create ministry and spiritual community together. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Plenty of opportunities to jump in. Speaking of jumping in and our RPH project, as we heard at last Sunday's annual meeting, we now find ourselves in the Find a Home phase of our Right and Perfect Home project. And so that means that we need to get our teams together to start looking for a new place to go and also to just facilitate our move. And so we are holding a special meeting after service on Sunday, March 13th. It'll be in person only. We won't be doing that one on Zoom, but we're going to describe all the different projects and teams and find out how you might be able to join and help as we move our community forward. If you don't want to wait until March 13th and you want to join ahead of time, if you want to go ahead and volunteer, we can put you in contact with Martin Taylor, and his email address is drmartin_taylor@comcast.net. So you don't have to wait until the 13th. You can get started now. Also, if you haven't already completed the Town Hall Follow-Up RPH survey, you can take a moment still to do so. The link is being posted in the chat, or you can find it in the emails that we may have sent to you this last week. And if you still can't find it, let us know and we'll get it out to you, because we want to hear from everyone as we move this community forward. So, like I said earlier, we hope that you've enjoyed our service and that you want to get more involved and engaged with our community here. The best way to do that is by signing up for our emails that go out every week, and you can do that in the chat link, I believe, or also you can go to the website unityns.org and sign up there. So as we conclude the service, we want to thank the live stream team. We want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And of course, we want to thank Charles and Gwen as well. Thank you, and we hope you have a wonderful week. Now, Gwen and Charles will lead us in the peace song, followed by Kent with our prayer for protection.
Let there be peace all over the world. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin. Oh, with you, let it begin with harmony. Let it begin.
Now, please join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your day.
Hello, my lovely, lovely Zoomers. Hello, hello, hello.